What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Usually on Mondays I like to take it easy, especially when the market condition is not as hot as we had seen last month and especially the month before. So today was mostly just like a scalp day for me on the long side and short side. But I think we're finally starting to see a little bit more follow through on the breakouts, especially on the cheaper names like OCGN and MVIS. So let's go over some of the trades right now, starting with the first trade on the day was a short on SJ. So a lot of these small cap gappers in this current market just gap up and selling off. And if you look at the daily chart on this stock, SJ, you can see why I'm more short biased on the stock. I didn't trade it on this day. It is like the beginning of April, so maybe like 3 weeks ago. But this thing did, gap up and ripped and then sold off into the close. So today you can see pre-market were gapping up to $13. I had a small scalp, but I didn't size into it pre-market. It's only after the open. Again, this stock is pretty low float. Easy to borrow, then those are the scenarios where you don't wanna short the weakness. So I waited for the pops to short into it around very small size because I never tested $13. But still I started adding into it, especially after all these lower highs, as you can see. So around 12, 20s, and then later 12, and then 12 again. And then you can see I covered most of it into the flush, and then after the re-add, I covered into 1130s, 1120s, and then 1080s. Especially when it's on a Monday, I'm trying to take it easy and just like scalp for the more straightforward moves, because on a lot of breakouts on the long side, like UAL, which I took long today, didn't work. I was still seeing the similar things as last week, at least on the large cap stocks. The gappers, at least the gappers are not working. You can see on EUAL, we gapped up with the rest of the airlines and we just kind of sold off, while I long started around 53, 70s, still isn't working, so I basically stopped out. And you can see, even though it did go back and retest 54, it's still sold off into almost previous day close, and now we're just kind of choppy around here. So this is a loser on the long side. This one I wasn't necessarily trying to scalp. I wanted to actually build a position and join a trend on the long side. Couldn't even hold above VWAP and go up higher. The other play that would have worked out, but I didn't get to trade it just because I lost track of it. It was NEO. So this is kind of similar to what I was looking for on UAL. Sell off and then start holding the bottoms and hold VWAP, higher lows, and start trending up higher into 42 70s now. But this one I kind of just lost sight of it. Was a little bit sad. But essentially this is what I was looking for on UAL. Just didn't work out. So I did trade a few other tickers, and they're mostly just like small winners, small scalps on both the long side and the short side. MRNA, I only scalped this one short for like just a little bit here, 179 down to 178. But here I actually got long on MRNA on this flush move to the 176s. You can see that's essentially the previous support and breakout level over here, and that's why I got in long there. I saw the stock. I didn't stay in the short though. I was just long here. Long, I sold some, and then I was selling the rest of the long accidentally. Shorted, but so I got out of the short. But this is a long trade over here, and 176 flush out move, took the long, sold into 177s, and then the rest at 178. And I just left the stock alone just because, like I said earlier, a lot of the breakouts, sometimes they look like they're gonna hold and they sell off and they just chop around. I think I'm just trying to take it easy in this market until it really tells me that we're gonna have major breakout moves on these large cap stocks. So mRNA, I took the short and the long, both scalps, small wins on this one. The next one I traded is AMC. This one I scalped it short as well. You can see this thing broke out to 1150s. You can see on the daily, 1150s on the daily, you know, like, yeah, it's holding now it's bullish. But at the time, it was a parabolic move to close to some daily resistance levels, and that's why I shorted it around 1147s, 1150s, and I covered into 1127s. And the stock later is flushed out to like $11. Would have been nice to hold it. But I didn't. Again, I'm just kind of aiming for base hit and have the small gains add up. Especially a lot, again, breakout. You can see this thing is another example of the breakout not holding. It gave back the entire breakout from the highs 1150s all the way back down to 1080. So that's just another example of why I'm doing kind of like smaller moves until the market really proves to me that things are going to start trending and start moving up higher to the upside. The next one is SKLZ. This is, again, another scalp move, but this one just a small short because I have Kathy here. She's responsible for what happened last week when I was trading skills on the long side. But this one today, $19. If you kind of look at the last couple of days chart, $19. This is kind of around the area where I was trading on the long side on was it last Thursday? $19. That level, once it broke down, that's when it started flushing out all the way down to 17s. While I wasn't looking for a big move to 17s. That just tells me that the 19s, around 19s, 1920s was an area of resistance. So that's why I shorted it. And yeah, I mean, I got out for like 10 cents. I was just looking for a quick scalp. But you can see this thing is starting to hold up. And if we break out above 19s today, later on, this thing could actually start moving to the 20s. But for now, I'm just trying to stay safe, trying to kind of just take the small gains and make sure I survive until the market actually turns around and we'll have actual big breakout moves. Okay, so it's time for our Q&As. So the first question is from Mark. Hi, Humble Trader. I want to ask what time frame you're using to scalp the market. So whether I'm scalping or trading other setups, I use the same time frames. I use 1 minute or 2 minutes. It depends on the volatility of the stock. If it's a very volatile stock, sometimes a low float runner, which we haven't seen for a while, I will use the 1 minute. If it's kind of like a more slower mover, like a lot of the large cap stocks, like UAL today, then I will use 2 minutes. But I always have the daily chart and I also have the 5-minute chart, kind of just for reference point on the side. But I do find that in this current market condition, I'm using more 2-minute charts to kind of see the trend, especially when things start getting so choppy. I don't want to get chopped up. And that's why today you can see that I have pretty clean entry, just one entry, one exit. If I'm wrong, like on the stock like UAL, I just get out. I don't want to get stuck in like a choppy action. And using 2-minute charts has been helping a lot lately. So second question is from Justin Credible. He's asking, how do you find your entry point? In some charts, you show the support and the key level, but in some, I don't. Yeah, because sometimes when I do the videos, I clean up the charts first, because otherwise it might get too crowded and the viewers, the audience can't see the chart. But how I find the entry point is basically around some key support and resistance levels. And it's going to kind of be different for every stock, obviously. But especially, let's say, for example, like on a stock like UAL, if it's like a gap up, it needs to at least hold the support of the pre-market lows. So you can see for this UAL, it wasn't holding, right? Around like the 53.60s, it wasn't holding that, and that's why I got out. Pretty simple. Basically key support or resistance. And for stocks like SKLZ, you saw that the 19s level around, even though it didn't quite get to 1920s, this is an area of selling from a couple of days ago. And that's why for me, that was a key resistance. And that's why I'm trading, whether it's long or short, whether it's scalping or other setups, essentially I'm just trading around some key support and resistance. It's pretty simple, but just harder to execute. But I try to keep things pretty straightforward and having only like the major key support and resistance on my chart. And let me just give you another example before I go. On SJ, you can see this thing, it's a small cap, low float. And when the float is lower, you have to use kind of like a rough area of resistance or support levels. It can't be exactly to the cent. So for this stock, I'm looking at $12. You can see that $12 is also like a resistance from the daily level. Yeah, daily support became resistance on the second day here. And you can see today, yeah, that was acting as support pre-market, but later on we broke down. So that's why if I'm short, I want to short around this $12 area. You can see that's why I got short around 12.30s, 12.20s, and then once that $12 broke down, that's why I added into it. And especially after this thing created lower highs around that $12 breakout. So that's just kind of how I trade. But yeah, that's just a quick summary of how you can find support and resistance and trade around them. If you want to learn more about support and resistance, I did a video on how to draw these price levels if you want to check that out. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the bad jokes. If you want to see more day trading content, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more. If you'd like to trade with me daily and get my free weekend watch list and trading journal, make sure to check out the links below for more resources. Stay green, stay positive, and I'll see you guys next time.